Okay, this coming Abhidhamma lecture will be conducted total five lectures. Lecture number 4 will be pretty long. It's a cover of everything on the basis. Basically, it's more on the conscious, the 17 thought moment. Okay, so we'll study through the various stages of practice, like in the rupa world, in the arupa world, and immaterial world, so on and so on. And we're about nibbana, also about those things. It's very hard to describe, but it will be a long-winded one. So you all bear with it in lecture 4. I think it will take about 2 or 3 sessions to cover. Okay, basically you come to Abhidhamma for this senior part 2. You need to know about the consciousness, the citta, the cetasika, and the rupa. So all these three we learned in the last 3 years will now incorporate into each other. Now we're going to study the base point. That means all the contact points of your senses, including your mind, that is next six senses. Okay, so that will be the thing we're going to study for this. Actually, quite straightforward, but very difficult to elaborate. I follow closely the YMBA text because all the other text is a bit and pieces of over here and there. So I don't want to lose track. So I just follow closely with the YMBA text, and please go back and read again the YMBA text. Read slowly to make you understand. Hopefully I can put across this lecture note sufficient for you to understand. I hope so. So basically, if you're anybody who went through various Abhidhamma classes and they touch on this basis, do share and make the lecture more able to get understanding from every one of us, so we can share among each other, especially those who have gone for further on the basis. Okay, so we start from here. Lecture 1 will be the Compendium of Doors. Dvārasaṅgaha. I mean, all the 3 things we have learned previously, now we come to the door. That means the doorstep of every opening, like the ear, nose, tongue, so on, so on. Okay, so these are things we're going to study. And how this chitta, chittasika, and then the rupa interact with each other. Okay, now we come to the compendium of doors. Similar, this thing is like our house. The importance of doors in our house. We need the doors to access in and out of our house. So similar thing, you think of the 5 senses plus the mind, 6 senses, as a door opening for us to get in and get out. So similar for a door, for us to enter house or to get out of it. So similar, the faculty is of this nature. So every room in the interior, doors are fixed for the same purpose. I mean, you got back door, front door, side door, so on, so on. It's similar to our 5 senses, the ear, nose, tongue, body feeling, so on, so on. Okay, and smell. So it's important to have only one main door, but several doors. I mean, it's important to have not only one main door, but several doors. So you see the importance of the faculty. We don't just depend on the side. We still need the other opening. So no one could use the house without this door. So this door serves as accessible for us, whichever we need it, whichever side which we need to enter. So similar to the faculty. So as an individual, we have 2 types of door. Okay, what are the 2 types of door? Door of contact, pasa, dvāra. I mean, the contact between the so-called the sense between the object and the whatever, like eyes is a sight. The tongue is a taste. Okay. And doors of action, Kama Dvāra. Kama Dvāra refers to the door of contact or sense door to which individual receive the external object by bodily, verbal, and mental action. So you always have to think of this straight away. Just by seeing, we all our, by nature, we're doing it almost constantly. We never break down this thing, how this contact takes place with you. If you carefully reflect on it, that's why you study this Abhidhamma, you to study how the contact start, okay, with our senses, and then how we interact with our mind. Okay, senses of these five faculty, the senses one, by itself, is just to touch and capture. It cannot process. The processing is done by the mind. So once the contact by the senses faculty finish the so-called recording and investigation, it will pass it to the mind. Simultaneous is so fast, we just cannot, by our just thinking, which we have been doing since the day we are born, we cannot think of this kind of breaking down of individual thought. Okay, so this is what we're going to study. As you all know, most of you have by now should know. So the sixth door referring to eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door. Okay. For those that has suffered from what broken down one of these door, like those in the blind, the eye door, and those deaf, cannot hear. Right? These are people because according to the text, is the past karma determine your next existence. So you do something bad in this current existence, you suffer from one of these doors get shut up. So you suffer from this. Okay. So this is basically explanation by Buddhists about those people with defect. Okay. Similar thing, even the nose, tongue, body, we have defect also. So depend on the karma created in the past, is come and haunt you in the present. So for those people you have seen before, because of this thing, in science, they can't explain it. They say it's a DNA defect, okay? But in our Buddhist, it's because of the past karma defect that haunt you in the current life. That's why people with physical body problem is due to this door not cannot be accessed. Okay. Okay, there are many of these Pali terms which we're going to study, and then you need to understand this term, familiarize with this term, and get to know this term, because the coming one, talking about those diagram and explanation, they'll be using a lot of this kind of Pali word. So please try to learn it and embed it into your mind. Alam Bana. These they are material object of the senses. I mean, they are talking about material object. So objects to see, objects of sound, objects that have smell, taste, and can be touched. All the five senses. So this is called alabana. So in the kama vachara world, in the sensual world like we are staying, all living beings have five sense organ. Okay. And in the rupa vachara world, this is where the called gods or devas are staying. The worlds, we call it the Brahmas, they don't exactly like human. They have something of less than a human, who are made of stubble or fine material, and who only have and need sense apparatus just for seeing and hearing. Okay, So they no need food and they no need smell. Smell. I no need smell. And also the body, they don't have. So they only have these two sense because they need this for learning the Dharma. So this is how the Brahma world works. Without body, you suffer less of this suffering. Because one of monk used to say, our body is a curse. We are subject to all suffering because constantly the cell is changing and dying, growing. And then whatever effect on the past can kind of haunt you on the body. That's why people got disease like cancer, all these things and come and haunt you. So having a body, we have to suffer, prepare for all this coming. So the Pali word for object is aramana. Okay, so this one material object is called alamabana. So aramana or alabana is basically saying is an object. Okay, so the mental objects such as ideas, concept, etc., are considered objects of the mind. So five senses one is called alabana. So those mental objects is not physically touching or what. It's just your mind make kind of vision. Okay. So this is also another object of the mind. Okay. So mind is another form. Object is an idea. It's something in their mind that make it in such a thing that or this nature. So all this referring to alabana. So please prepare because later on you explain the thoughts. All this will come and haunt us. Dvārasaṅgaha. This is talking about the doors. Okay? So the living beings in the Kama Vachara and Rupa Vachara world have sensitive matter in their bodies, which are receptive to the respective sense object. Like the smell, we have this, our nose, nostril have this hair. So this hair are the things that get in contact with the smell. Okay? So these are things which determine whether this smell is subject to your like or dislike. So these are all contact, like your tongue, the base of tongue, the tongue down there is to taste the food. Especially when you get COVID-19, you lose the taste of the food. Okay, so the food is no more. You cannot taste how the food will be like, good or bad. Okay, so basically you have no contact with the food. So this is called senses. So this sensitive matter, also called pasada, act as doors through which the objects are taken up by their consciousness. So exactly like tongue, when your food touch the base of the tongue, okay, the contact of the tongue, then this taste will arise. And then arise, it go to the process of determining whether you like or dislike the thing. So everything same applies to sight also and the other faculties. So hence these sensitive matters are called dvava, or what I call doors. Okay, so you must learn this term, doors. So in the Kama Vachara world, the sensual world, there are five dvava or five sense door plus one mind door. I remember we not scientists, scientists only five. For Buddhist study, we must add in one mind door. Okay, in the Rupa Vachara world. There are two sense door. So in the Brahma, Rupa Vachara talking about those fine material in the Brahma world. They have ear and eye and plus one more mind door. And because of this, they are still able to learn when they are in this heavenly world. Okay, so when Buddha come upon like this, remember the Buddha, this Abhidhamma to the mother who passed away in the Tusita heaven and all the other devas. they don't have the body, so don't subject to this kind of suffering. So with their ear and eye and the mind door, they able to absorb Abhidhamma one stretch constantly without break. Okay? Unlike human now, we suffer from this kind of what you call curse. Our body need all the thing. We cannot constantly focus. I say 3 hours constant talking. We need to stop. Human being there's a suffering there. So this is what's the difference between the Brahma world and also our this called material world, human world. Then next one introduced to you is a Vatu. So in order to cognize means understand. To understand the object that has come in contact with the sense door, chitta will begin to arise. So the moment, like I said, the eye, so only at one time, even you have five door, so the strongest thing, let's say the eye, will capture the door open first. The other door need to wait. So only one door cannot open all five door. You are not able to take it. You only can only one time only. So one at a time. So when it come with the door, the eye one, the eye door will open. So when eye door open, this object is come in contact with the eye. So this chitta will arise. So in the living beings, they are made of matter such as beings of Kama, Vachara, and the Rupa Vachara world. Chitta will arise based on matter. So this is why only these two have this sort of thing to as well capturing the seeing one, the sight. If you are born higher in material, then you can't do that because you only have the mind only. So just to recall, remember we studied the Cetasika chapter. The Ceta and Cetasika have the same base and same object. Now we are coming to the point of when these two arise, you also need to study the base, how this thing started from the very beginning. And we also study about matter acting as a base of Vatu for the Chitta in the previous year, like Rupa. These three things come together. So we have complete that. Now we need to talk about the starting point, the base, how it started, and how these three interrelate with the base. This one is what we studied in the past, and we're going to study that again, how it interact with the base. And just to tell you, it's not simple. And then for this year one, especially senior part 2, your Abhidhamma paper, I view through the latest one. Actually, it's 8 questions only. There are not much choice for you. 2 questions will be in Pali translation, Pali translation. And basically, you have 6 to choose 6, then can choose 5 out of it. So basically, you are very tight. If you try to avoid anything, you are in trouble, okay? This thing will cover your earlier chapter plus the current chapter, current subject, okay? So you have not much to play, okay? Basically, tell you the Abhidhamma paper. You have to really know what you are studying for, okay? Cannot, no more multiple choice. These are all essay question on. We'll go through and we go to revision. We'll study the connection between the different kinds of chitta and the different kind of bases in this lesson. So in Pali, these material bases are called Vatu. So you know what Vatu, Vatu means the base. So all these sense object, sense door and bases are not chitta. They are comprised of materiality of rupa. Okay? So that's why we learn the chitta, cettasika, and rupa. And now we have to study how these three interact with the base. Okay. First introduction is the door. So there are 5 doors plus one more is a mind door. We're going to look through how this thing operate. So I'm not going to go through all the 5 doors. So one eye door basically is a similar for the rest of the door. Take the eye sensitivity, the cakkhu pasada rupa. I mean, when your eyeball operate, the eyeball, the black one inside, there is this called sensitivity. It's like science, the sensitivity of this color of the light will, from the object, will come upon to this eyeball, and then this eyeball will capture what's the object, the color of the object. Okay, that's why if you are not color blind, you should able to conceive or recognize the object very clearly. So when this eye sensitivity open, itself is an eye door. So then a visible object, is a thing when you see the, especially eye, is a rainbow of color. So the rainbow of color determine this visible object. So that's why those color blind have problem determining seeing properly how the object look like. It come in contact with the eye sensitivity. So all these rays of color will come onto the eyeball. So this eyeball react and will this so-called capture the object clearly. So this gives a rise of a series of consciousness follows. So the moment this color of this object come upon the eyeball, this series of consciousness arise automatically, one after another. So this is how the operation of this sense door start to react with the object. I remember I ever told you about the 17 thought moment. I ever speak to your people. So basically, you need to remember all that too. So out of the 14 distinctive function performed by the consciousness, or referred as compendium or functions, there are 7 functions associated with the eye as listed, similar to the nose, tongue, so on, so on. It's of the same kind of nature. Everything. It's like advertising, advertising it to actually is to capture the main source of the, because you have 5 all operate at the same time. So only the strongest one, everything will capture the biggest object you want to determine. So this everything, and then you're seeing. So after seeing the object captured in the eyeball, you have this receiving. So all these Pali word, all you must know. Samma pati chana, receiving. And after receiving, you have this investigation. Okay, investigate. What is the things about? So receive, investigate. And next thing you need to determine. Determine whether, or what you call vota pana, whether you want to carry on forward. So, or thorough investigation, then your decision come here. That's why good and bad things happen along this kind of process. So if you look carefully through this thought moment, especially you come next one to the impulse jhavana, 7 of them, you determine whether you're causing good karma or bad karma. Very frightening one, because we tend to think like it's a mother nature kind of this past. But if you look at these psychologists, these are things that make you make the right or wrong decision. So this impulse jhavana, we will study too later on how these good and bad things come about. And then finally, registration. So after going to the 7 of them, you need to register what I call tada lambana. You need registration because it's like a hard disk. When you're doing your work, I say you type document, you need to save. So in registration, there's 2 of this moment, registration moment, to save it something to your hard disk. Like over this hard disk, I talk in hard disk, that means to save your content so that you can recall back So registration is the same thing. This registration is to record what you have seen into something, your memory. To us, a computer, we say it's a hard disk or a memory stick, whatever. Okay, so we need this because if you don't register, the thing will be gone. So this thing will not be recorded. Okay, so very important about registration. Okay, that's why some of the things we will study through how this good and bad thing impression counts. Okay, before I carry forward, next one is to give you diagram of understanding how this concept of contact works. In the midline, these are called midline. Which I'm going to explain. This is taken from another source. Okay, it talk about how this operation of the chitta arise when you contact with the object. Okay. So at the midline, there are sensitive matter plus the bhavanga chitta. And these act as a doors for the respective object come in contact with the senses bases and the heart base. Okay. We'll talk about this later on. We'll talk about what is heart base. Okay. So this thing is very sort of, it happened very fast, but because we study this Abhidhamma, it breaks down to the point moment by moment. If you reflect slowly on it, you understand the importance of this operation of this thing. With science, I cannot explain. In Abhidhamma, you're able to explain how this thing operates, contact with the object, and the series of things will happen one after another. So at the time of contact, these pertinent chittas will rise. Automatically, the moment you contact with the object, this chitta will rise. And how it operates and processes this thing is another matter. Okay, whether good one or bad one, whatever will happen with appropriate base. So I is I base. So remember the Pali word, eye, chakku, ear, nose, jhana, tongue, body, and mind. So all these are in a way operate the same way, except the mind is slightly different from the five faculties. Okay, slightly different. Okay, but it's all same nature. So look at this diagram. Eye base, that means your eyeball down there, eye base. You're talking about that. So the moment you have this eye base, you see the centimeter, you see object, there arise two eye consciousness, similar to the other four of these faculty, similar. Also, two of these consciousness arise, except the mind. Mind will have three, right? So this is talking about the base contact with the object, and this will arise. The eye base contact, two eye consciousness, and then this eyeball. So when this arises, and this the eye door will have this visible object, or what I say is a color object. The rays of rainbow determine what is the kind of thing we are seeing. It's actually what we are seeing is a rainbow of color that determine the kind of object is it. So this what I call the door open, then can see object. Dvārasaṅgaha. Okay? So this is a simple diagram taken from another source that explain how this eyeball operate. Okay, so similar for the rest, the ear door of the similar nature. Okay, it's only changing the name. Okay, so I won't go through thoroughly. So I believe you all should be able to understand what is this going on. Similar to your body, the body contact is also two body consciousness. Okay. Now we're talking about mind door and heart base. Mind door very very funny. We have this other thing called heart base, which we're going to study later on. And this heart base, there are 79 other consciousness. Okay. Then is no more the sentimeter, is no more the faculty. It's called this Bhavanga Chitta. So this mind door with the thought object. Thought object is like illusion thing. You think of it. It cannot measure because it's an illusion of what the mind make up of. So it's a concept, something I call a concept that is registered in your mind that cannot be measured by the other five faculty. So this is how we're going to study later on about this heart base and mind door operation. Pretty complicated. And then I hope I'm able to put across to you because I myself also can't remember. I studied more than I think 15 years ago. Right? So I try my very best. Hopefully, those of you have gone through all this kind of thing can render more help to make it more understanding to everyone. So this one we'll look at this whenever we of this what I call the contact of object with the five senses. These are the things will automatically happen. Right? So there's a total of 46 consciousness perform the above 7 function related to I. So we talk about I. So these are the consciousness arise so fast we can't even know that this thing is happening right behind our so-called body. First thing, there's a five door everything consciousness. This one, everything is to capture the strongest object. The five senses will capture. Okay, so this five door is almost even you sleeping is still working. Okay, so this five door basically is capturing things whichever is the strongest it will capture. So with this there's only one consciousness arise. So when you contact with the eye start to get aroused. This eye consciousness will give you two consciousness. Okay. And then after that, when the eye capture the object, I mean the color of things, you will pass it to the receiving consciousness, called Sampati-chana. And here there are two consciousness to process it. Okay. Two consciousness to process it. And then next is pass it to the investigation one, investigating or Sani-tarana consciousness. When this receiving pass to investigating, this one will give you three consciousness to do the processing again, three of them. And then upon finishing the investigating, whether good or bad, actually good or bad, you still don't know. It's under the mind that there is. So that means investigating it, then the determining or Vata Pana consciousness, one will come and do the final, whether you want it or don't want it. So determine. So you want it, you just take. And then the sense field Javana, the Javana, there are 7 moments, 7 thought moments, so called impulse consciousness. There are total of 29 consciousness. So within the 7, there are 29 processing it. Okay, so this one will give rise to good or bad thing, which we're going to study later with Javana, actually, if you look carefully, what is inside? This Javana, there are 29. Why? Because there are 12 unwholesome one, 8 wholesome, and 8 wholesome functional, and 1 smile producing functional. And this one belong to Arahant. You know Arahant standard, you don't have this one. Okay, basically you're cut off of this one. So basically there are 29. So basically we are uh, following this pattern of whether you can take the good one or bad one. Okay. Then when the Jamana process a thing, whether good or bad, which later processed by mind, then this recitation takes place. 2 moments. There's total of 8 consciousness. So total up with this processing of the just one eye faculty is registered as 46 total. 46 of these consciousness arises, right? So these are things new to you, so you need to know this. They come up with question like this: how to explain what are the consciousness that arise when you contact with a particular door, right? So you need to explain to examination because Abhidhamma is more technical. It's not unlike essay, you write long-winded question. Here it's very technical. Either you know or don't know. So basically you need to know. You don't know, then hard time for you. So all these things you need to learn and then try to digest it and embed it into your memory. And hopefully come the exam, you have no problem explaining how this consciousness work. Okay? 46, 46. So this is another taken from one of the source. How the series of Jeta arise for the idol. The series of Jeta arise in the idol is similar for the other 4 senses. Okay. So similar to this, is exactly the. So basically, Bhavanga here is actually a continuum of life. This thing, when you are living alive, this Bhavanga, life continuum, the consciousness still moving, still moving. Okay, unless you are dead, then this thing will stop. So Bhavanga will continue as long as you live. So we have this so-called thing that interrupt, and then this 46 will process. So similar thing here. Pachadavajana 1, Chatuvayana 2, Sampachina 2, Santirana 3, Uttabangna 1, Javana 1, then Tadaramana, then 8. Then after that, this life continuum will carry on. Okay? So this will explain how 46 citta arise just for the eye contact. Okay? So similar, repeat. So whatever exam question come up, whether nose, tongue, or body, you need to just put in the figure. Right? Also 46. So all of this similar nature for all the 5 faculty. Okay, here explain how the eye process work, how this, how they call the factory of this eye process this object. It said, although there are 46 citta capable of taking part in the idol city of citta, remember, only 1 citta at each level will arise. They cannot arise more than one. Basically, all these are one by one, except for Javana cittas. Javana is another one we're going to study later on. So Javana Chitta will rise 7 times in the series. I told you 7 of them. So you possess, especially the beginning and the end, both are very weak. Okay. So from 2 to 6, that's a very important thing that will, whether it determine you whether you want to have clear picture of this object. So Tada Mana, the registration chitta, will rise 2 times in a series. So this is basically how this process will work. Okay, so we explain like this. This is what happens when a visible object calm attention at the idol. The Bhavanga chitta will stop arising. I mean something that will stop it, and then attention. So when you interrupt, this one panna dvava vachana chitta will rise. And then remember the chakku, there are two. So one of the two chakku vyana will take place. And then followed by one of the two sama pichana chitta will take place. And then finally the satirana chitta, one of the three satirana chitta will take place. Then one Vottabana, there's only one for here. That is the Mano Dvava Vachana Chitta will take place. Then one of the 29 Javana Chitta, they have 7 of them, one after another. Then only one out of 29 will operate. Then one of the 11 Tada Ramana Chitta, then recitation, will rise twice, followed by the Bhavanga Chitta again. But basically, the eye operates one by one of this thing. Okay. So basically, this explain how the chitta work for this particular eye process. Okay, any question? So basically, you need to explain like this. Okay. So even though it's process of this 46 of them, only one at each time, except the Javana. Okay. Okay, so when you explain how the faculty work, you can give this one or this one, and then with explanation of how the eye operate. Okay, so this is how the thing works. So I think stop for here. I need a rest. So we start at 2 again. All right.